Yeah, hold on. What's going on? Yeah, hold on.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, you can see us. You see seeing us from there.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Huh? Hold on. I'm gonna turn up the volume over here. Can you hear us?
Can you guys hear me?
Hey John, can you turn up the volume on? Just do it.
It's at full volume.
Is it? Can we hear you? Can you hear us?
I can hear you guys. Hear me?
Do you have the sound connected? Oh, God. I hate my computer. Is it plugged in?
Hold on. We're having technical difficulties.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Try now. John, do you know what shot this is?
Testing,
Can you say something now? Let's see if we
testing, 1, 2, 3.
No? Hold on. I think
Wait. Why does it look so low?
Something.
Yeah, your volume is super low.
Where?
HDMI.
God damn it. Open.
System sounds.
Not
Turn it
I
up.
don't think that's going to be enough.
How are we doing now?
I remember there's a way to set this up, and this is really annoying right now.
That's alright, but can you hear me?
I think the important
Not
thing
really.
is everyone to join in and tell.
Wait, hold on. On the settings.
We know the sirens work downstairs.
Okay, now try.
Is it right now?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
We can hear you now.
Alright! That volume is worth a shot.
All right.
Nice job.
Yeah, we're good. Thank you. All
Alright.
right, everybody, raise your glass. 1, 2, 3. Woo! All right.
Shut at 7 p.m.
I like the game so much, you're doing it now.
He's doing 2 shots for the Splatters. He said it takes 2.
It's gross.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you for joining us with Gaming in Public. I'm Jacob, your host right here, where you can see me. Well, he has to hear me too.
Yep. Oh.
All right. All right. We've all played the game. We're having fun with it. We know it took a while to develop. How long did it take you to develop the game for?
It took us about 3 years from like where we had the very slight idea of what we're trying to do to the point where we get, the game released. So it's about 3+ years. We're a very small team. We're only 4 towards the end, but so it takes a while. And plus, we kind of like didn't know what we were gonna end up with initially, so it took a long time just to find the concept and then close in on the type of game we want to make.
Where did the original concept come from? Like, whose idea was it to come up with this game, and how long?
Yeah, I did like a bunch of other physics-based stuff for other for not games, applications, and so I really wanted to do something that has a very strong physics-based gameplay around it, but also that it's more of a skill game and less puzzle game, even though it turned out a little bit of a puzzle game, but I think eventually when you play enough, you realize it's more of a skill game more than anything. And so we didn't have like a really, concrete idea starting out. It was me and my partner, Sagi, and then we just did two things in parallel. We started prototyping a lot of physics-based stuff, and I built kind of like elastic system that you kind of see at the end game, and try to figure out what would be interesting things to do with that, mechanically speaking. And in parallel, we thought about like the theme and what's the scope of the game that we wanted to do. And we really started with a smaller game than it turned out. But it was just, too much fun trying to make the graphics and everything, shine and sparkle. And then we wanted a platform that can really show off that. And then we ended up on Xbox Live Arcade, so it took us a while also to get onto that. So, it stretches.
Were you originally planning to go to the Xbox, or was that the platform that you wanted to go to, or were you planning to go to the PS3 or maybe the Steam later? Or?
Pretty early, I wanted the Xbox. We both actually wanted the Xbox for several reasons. One, it's more like it was kind of a desire more than anything, just to put a game out on console, which is, I think, pretty cool. It's not necessarily always the smartest move to go to console first. It's a tougher market. But yeah, pretty early on, we decided that's what we wanted. For a while there, we weren't sure that it's going to happen at all. And then we were going to do, other things, but then it happened, so we were totally happy about it.
I know you guys had showed it at PAX Prime in 2011, right? Or was it 2000? Yeah.
It was.
Did you get a lot of initial things that you had to change from the 2011 build that you had, or was that a very good experience for you guys? Or?
Yeah, no. The way I see it, the game, after a year and a half, maybe closer to 2 years of working, we had a very good implementation of what we call the end game. Eventually, once you learn all the moves and everything clicks in and you know how to play, we knew what the rules we would like them to be. The physics system was working. It was fun and challenging to try and string all these combos along. And then our biggest challenge towards the end was to make sure how to get players there from nothing, basically. So that we did that all the way through the finish line. So yeah, after PAX was in September, if I remember correctly, or maybe late August.
Yeah.
And then maybe 6 more months, so definitely a lot of content changed. The game itself hasn't changed that much. A lot of polish went in, and also all these initial mode and the way we structure the way you learn the mechanics and the way that the levels and the difficulty ramps up and the kind of talents that unlock and so forth. So that was all the way through the end.
I know there's no focus on story at a very initial point where you're like, we're not going to do story, we're just going to make a game that people can pick up and play, or...
Yeah. No, it's... Again, one of those things that you can debate. It was it's a good choice commercially, but the types of games that I like and the types of games that I want to, that appeal to me, I never care much for the story in them. It's just the type of player I am. Especially if they're skill-based games. I mean, if it's an adventure game, of course I care about the story because that's the essence of the game. But so we didn't feel like we needed a strong, narrative theme behind it. It's often just comes out silly. If we had a really good idea, I guess we would have done that. But we just wanted to keep it light and focus on the gameplay.
I know that you're one of the few game developers in Israel. I mean, do you feel like that you're kind of pioneering? I know there's a big tech industry there, but in terms of game development, do you feel like you're like an example for other developers?
Maybe, I don't know about. I mean, we're definitely one of the few companies that ever went for console games and that kind of stuff. There's a lot of mobile development going on right now, a lot of iPhone, iOS, Android, that kind of things, and some pretty good games also. coming out of Israel. The bigger studio side, and there isn't much. There is like maybe 2 other studios that are bigger than us actually, but I can't. They did one studio here did Mini Ninja Adventures for Kinect. Other than that, yeah. So I try to, I try to go to the local game dev events and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I guess we're pioneering in a sense. We're the first company that did a console game, so that came out of Israel, of course. So yeah.
I know you guys are looking probably to do other games. Like, have you already started working on a next project, or do you want to keep doing puzzle games? Or
No, not necessarily puzzle games. We definitely have ideas for other games. We haven't started working on something at the moment, but the next thing, big thing for us is a PC launch. So we're going to go to Steam. And we also decided that since we're kind of like a small team, one of the things that we can do that bigger teams often don't do is keep working on the games. We really love the Xbox Live version, but we also learned a lot from it, so we feel we can do better. So we want the Steam build to be a little bit different. It's also keeps stuff interesting for us. So we're going to work on that for a while and then release the Steam version. And it's actually going to be cross-platform also, so it's going to be PC and Mac and Linux, and then we'll go and try some new games. We have a few ideas, but they're not something that we tried out yet.
I mean, what more would you want to add to the Steam version compared to the Xbox version?
Well, it's more about how we structure the experience from the player's mind. I think it's a kind of game that if you invest, a good 20 minutes into it and really, try to learn its mechanics, then you come out very, very satisfied. But the game doesn't necessarily do that good of a job in, keeping players in for that duration, for all the player types or for more player types out there. So we're going to keep the game the same, but we're going to structure it a bit different. And it's going to be, the structure will be broken down into smaller pieces that are hard to explain, and you'll have to wait to see. But it will feel quite different. You still hear me?
Yeah, we lost you for a second. I was going in and out for a little bit.
All right. So where should I pick up from? Where did you get it?
No, I think we're good. I think we got it. But
So how are you guys doing? I mean, how many people are you over there?
Raise your hands.
That's like, when I was younger, we used to go to the arcades. I used to teach school and go to the arcades to play games together.
People are gonna come up and then wave their hands.
And this is like a fun event. It's good for you guys for doing that. How many of these have you done so far?
We've done about maybe like 8 so far. We've done stuff with Cleve. We did Shank and Shank 2. We've done stuff with Joe came up. He gave a thumbs up.
Thumbs up to all.
You should be able to see better now. So. But I mean, we're just a group of gamers who like to drink and play games. So.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on, and we really appreciate you taking out the time of your day. We know it's really late, 2 a.m. in the morning over there. So.
Yeah. No, it's my time usually. I don't like the early morning. I'm more of a late night person, so I usually work about till this time, maybe a bit later, and then I wake up like 9, 10.
Do you drink with your gaming at all?
When I'm gaming with friends, yeah, that happens, sure. But not in a bar. That's cool.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
No problem.
We really appreciate it. A round of applause, everybody, for.
Thanks for checking out Splatter, guys.
Woo!
All right, Jacob.
Thank you.